we have to be more conscious about what we're putting in our bodies because I'm just eating food. You're not just eating food. You're eating the energy of it. You know, I'm not vegan or vegetarian or anything, right? But when we eat meat, you're eating death. Like most of the time, the animal was slaughtered and in fear. It was in fear the seconds and the minutes before its death. And so there's fear of the energy of fear coursing through its body. And that is what we are eating, right? So that's why when you eat, you eat a nice you need to eat a nice cheeseburger or, a big piece of meat. And then after you feel like, oh, you can't do anything physical after. You just gotta sit down. You're like, bleh, right? You can't really do anything because you're eating death and your body is like processing that, right? And so that's why you feel sluggish after, because you're eating death, right? And that's why you notice that if you eat something like a salad, you feel pretty energized after, and you feel like you could do something. Like the other day, I instead of eating like shit food for breakfast, instead of eating like waffles and French toast sticks and all that BS, I ate a salad. And when I got in the car and on my drive to the gym, I was like, damn, I'm feeling pretty good right now. My body, my mind felt good, right? I had a pretty good mentality. It was in a pretty good mood, partly because of the salad, I'm sure. And my body just felt good. Like I felt ready to go, and that workout was a pretty good workout, right? So, and especially here in America, man, so much of the shit we're eating, it's not even real. We're not even eating real food. Our body can digest it, but it's not healthy for us. And it's like, the food doesn't just go to our stomach and we just release it, right? It's not that simple. Like, the energy of that and the ingredients in it, all that is like going throughout your body, and it's through everything is connected to your brain and your bloodstream and everything, right? And all this processed. I'm not an expert or anything to say how, and I can't say how deadly all this stuff is affecting us and our brain and our body and everything. But you just know that if you notice, if you eat a ton of candy, you eat a bunch of sugar, like a ton of unhealthy stuff, you don't feel that great after. But if you eat a salad or you eat something healthy, you feel pretty good after, right? And sometimes it's difficult. Like, oh, I don't really want to eat a salad. It doesn't taste as good as, that nice meaty hamburger, right? But, you can't eat unhealthy all the time because, there's a balance to everything. It's what we need to do is we need to, I'm not out here saying you can't ever eat anything unhealthy or enjoy yourself, right? Because I do that, right? I don't eat healthy 100% of the time. But you need a balance, right? You can't eat unhealthy 100% of the time. You got to eat some healthy stuff, right? And you also have to treat your body in a lot of senses as it's a temple, right? You hear all these health gurus and all these people who are into this stuff say this, right? And I'm saying it too because it's like your body is like you're pretty bound to this unless you're astral projecting and meditation stuff, but that's for to talk about another time. Unless you're doing that, you're pretty bound to your body, right? Your spirit is like in here and you're controlling your body, right? In a sense. And when you're doing this, when you're eating all this stuff and you're not paying attention to your body and treating it well, it has negative effects. People get overweight, they don't feel good feel good mentally, physically. And it's like your body is supposed to be fit and your body is supposed to feel good, right? And so you need the balance between, eating a little bit healthy, you need to exercise, whatever it is. At least do something once a day, even if it's just a 5-minute walk. And you need to focus on your mental health as well, because everything is energy. The food, like I said before, the food you're eating is energy. The thoughts that you have are energy. So if you think one positive thought, it leads to another. If you think one negative thought, it leads to another negative one. It's a cycle. And we get addicted to ourselves. We get addicted to our thoughts. We think one negative thing about this, and then we create a whole narrative in our head of why things are going to go wrong, or why this person isn't going to agree with us, or the situation's going to go wrong, right? And then you think about a positive thing, but see, this is the thing. Maybe this is just me, right? Maybe this is just in my head, but I think so much, the mind can sometimes be primarily negative, and in of the sense that maybe you try to think positive, but it doesn't always. It might be a little bit harder because you're conditioned to think negatively. Ever since we're younger, we're so conditioned to think negatively, and that you turn. I don't ever watch the news, and my friends and everyone always ask me, "Hey, did you hear about what happened to this person?" And I go, "No, I had no idea." And maybe there's some event that's gonna happen one day that I am gonna know about, and I'm not gonna know about. But anyway, you turn on the news. When do you ever hear anything positive? If you heard anything positive, please put it in the comments down below, because I would love to hear that. But 99% of the time you turn on the news, this person's fighting with this person's going to jail, someone died in your county, oh my god, I don't feel safe anymore. And yeah, unfortunate things happen, right? The world isn't a perfect place in the sense of humanity's aspect. Like, there's not always great people out there, right? But when you turn on the news every morning and all you watch is that negativity, the second you wake up, you're feeding yourself that energy, you're feeding yourself that mindset. So now you go out throughout your day and you live in fear. Oh, I'm walking in my neighborhood, is someone gonna come up behind me and stab me? Like, sure, anything's possible, but most likely not. So why are you choosing to think that way about the whole of life? It's unnecessary suffering. That's what it is. Unnecessary misery, because there are so many things in your life that are going to come, and you're going to suffer, and it might be out of your control. But something like that, watching the news every single morning, that is in your control. And that's just one example, right? There's so many things that I've done and might still, and some stuff I still do, and I'm sure a lot of stuff that you do or stuff you've done in the past that isn't good, and maybe you change some of that stuff, and that's great. And if you can think to yourself now, what habits in my life and what negative things am I feeding into myself, how can I change that, and maybe incorporate a different mindset and different physical things that I can do. For example, instead of watching the news in the morning, maybe I could turn on like a mindset podcast or something like that, right? That's what I love to listen to podcasts and learn about new things, right? I love doing that. One of my favorite podcasters is Chris Williamson. Check him out. And so, take the time that you have in the morning before your job or before school, whatever it is, and learn about something positive. Learn about something new. Discover something new about yourself, about your passion, right? And don't just feed yourself bullshit, essentially.